Todd, can you let's just talk about the Sharks. Obviously, they're on a hot streak, but you knew that they were a pretty good team. How tough is it to face them coming off a back-to-back?
It's always tough to face them, whether they're on a 6-game winning streak or maybe spotty at times. They're a veteran team that they know how to play. They stick to their system. They have talented players. Goaltender gives them a chance, and they have experience. So it's always a tough night against them.
Are you happy with the supplemental scoring that you're getting throughout your lineup? You got a few goals from your bottom six last night.
Yeah, it's really important. Teams that have long-term success find and manufacture goals from unusual suspects, and it can't always be one line or two players that carry, or the power play for that matter. And lately we've been able to distribute some of the offense to some guys that were dry for a while, and now they're starting to find the score sheet, and as a result you win a little bit more than you lose.
In terms of lineup changes, Todd, it's the second of a back-to-back.
We will see what happens after a warm-up. Again, it's no different than last weekend when we went to Calgary. We don't have a morning skate. Like every other team in the league, there's bumps, bruises, whatnot, and we'll know our lineup post pregame skate or post warm-ups.
Marlowe's 2 goals from 500. What do you remember about him?
Oh, well, great human being, first of all. He's Mr. Shark, I guess, in my mind. He's been here the longest, and he's been through good and bad, and he's had some highs and lows. But it'll be exciting for us to see him hit 500. We just don't want it to happen tonight. The next game would be great, but not tonight. And he deserves it. He's worked hard at his craft, and I can go on and speak volumes about his ability to skate and shoot and do a lot of things. But a ton of respect for what he's brought to this organization.
You usually have a guy play his whole career with one team, either drafted at 18, he's still playing at 36.
No, now you know what? Nowadays you see guys stay for a long, long time, and then I don't know if it's the cap system or what it might be, but they tend to end up on another team to finish their careers. I think of Alfie and Mike Modano and some of those players. I don't control what happens with Patty after this season. He and the Sharks will have to determine that, but you don't see that many individuals finish their careers. And there's talk now of some others that might be traded that have been in one organization for a long time, and that could change it as well.
When you're on the road, you don't have the last change, and you have a young guy like Caggiula sometimes might be out there for a defensive zone faceoff. How are your guys like that, dealing with that challenge, and what kind of things can you teach them about that?
Well, for us, it's a challenge in any situation, face-off-wise. We're obviously not at the top of the league or where we want to be, and if we had a weakness or a fault on our team right now, that would be one of it. We chase the puck much too often off of face-offs, and you asked in particular about Drake and his inexperience. The only way you gain it is by being out there. Keep putting him out and making sure that he's getting some support from wingers and his D-men, and trying to find ways to have success. And I think for rookie centermen, even second or third year centermen, it takes a little while to go through the rotation. A little bit like batters facing pitchers, you kind of figure them out a little bit later on, and Drake's slowly gaining that experience.
We've noticed the same thing with Carpenter too, kind of a similar
yeah,
situation.
and I'm I don't know how Carpenter, what his success rate is like in the minor leagues, but it's different up here. Our young guys face Pavelski, Thornton, Couture, those type of players, and they've got a lot of experience and different techniques to win face-offs, and it's a big challenge for us.
Peter DeBoer this morning said, when asked about, if you win this game, is it really a big deal, in playing the two teams? And he said he's a big picture guy. He says the world won't end if we lose or Edmonton loses. It's still 50 games into a season. Do you subscribe with?
I agree with him. The fact that the teams are close. We had this scenario last night in Anaheim as well, and as today rolls around, we move on. It's a win for us, a loss for Anaheim, but nobody's in a celebration or a panic mode from both teams. we're only at game 51 or 52 or whatever it might be, and I think I used the word or terms. We don't want to play outside our skin. We know we're a growth team. We know we got a lot to learn. Tonight's another opportunity for us to take that step, and we'd like to play better in this building than we did last time under similar circumstances, heading into a break, and make sure our focus is there a little bit better than it was pre-Christmas.
The key, I guess, for your team is to get away from the wild card teams so that you get some territory between them, so that you're in a race for first, second, or third, as opposed to in a wild card spot.
Well, again, now you're taking it big picture, and I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to stay small picture. The key for us right now is to play well against San Jose, and as soon as you start to lop yourself in and determine that you need to do this or do that in standings, which you obviously don't control, I think you tend to get into trouble. So let's just play a game. Let's play 60 minutes hard. Let's try and put some points in the bank, and then get some rest in the All-Star break. We'll worry about the standings night in and night out as they evolve.
How do the Sharks play differently than the Ducks?
How do they play differently? Well, they're systematically they're a little bit different. They have the gun, but San Jose Anaheim has a number of D-men that have put up goals during the season. It's more concentrated with Burns, and I think so much evolves around his play and his ability to create offense. He's Tom Brady delivering to all the receivers. The receivers have to run good routes, and they're likely going to get the ball, and that's the way I look at it. The quarterback's pretty important on that team.
When you were coaching him, you had him at forward and defense. At what point did you say, okay, he's learned enough to be a defenseman?
Well, I don't know if we ever did. We debated whether he should remain a forward. He had a year where he had an injury, and it was a lower body injury. He had a tough time coming back from it, so we put him up front. And I really believe that experiment up front and his ability to understand what it's like to play as a forward allows him to do what he's doing now. He understands, he's got a sense of what those receivers are doing and where they might be in the sense of timing that it allows him to be successful. And you look at a guy like Bufflin, who produces a lot of points as well. He played up front. He has that sense. Maybe there's something to be said. Maybe we should put our 6D up front for a little while, or our forwards on the back end.
Russell won't be able to block any shots at forward.
No, well, he could get out in the lanes, tight lanes.
So when he blocked that one last night and he's hobbling around for, it's just like a flesh wound, like in the Monty Python, and he's back the next shift. I mean, you're not surprised, I guess.
No, I'm not. That's his, he wears that badge proudly, that he's a shot blocker. He's willing to be in the lanes, and he's a tough young guy, and did wonders for our team at that moment, obviously, but also for the bench. You guys appreciate that. It was an excited bench, and they made sure he was. The bench made sure that they acknowledged it when he got back.